Hey guys, welcome back to another PUBG XBOX recoil video. Today we're looking at the QBZ, which is the new assault rifle on the new map Sanhok. And to be honest, I've been anticipating this video myself quite a lot, mainly because I seem to be dying to the QBZ a whole lot in game. And I'm interested to see if this is because of how good the recoil is, or if it's just a bit of a novelty and everyone's using it because it's new. Or maybe I'm just getting worse at PUBG. So I decided to use the docks for the new recoil testing area. This is mainly because it's out of the way, and it sort of minimized my chances of being killed by U-dogs. The same scaling method was used in this map that was used on Erangel to make sure that there was consistency across the board, and that the QBZ could be accurately compared to the previous weapons that were tested. Again, 3 magazines were fired into the wall in standing, crouching and proning positions. For the QBZ testing alone, a total of 2,160 rounds were fired into the wall. Each bullet mark was then connected using a line to provide an overall recoil pattern for that specific magazine. These lines were then plotted on a graph to identify any differences across the various weapon setups that were tested. Goodstatty the Ammo Mule featured again in this one, and helped to make this painstaking process slightly more tolerable. We even ended up with a few chicken dinners. So my hope is that this video provides some clarity, mainly regarding whether the QBZ is a viable weapon to use in the Sanhok map. And in subsequent videos, I'm going to be specifically comparing it to especially the M416. As always, thanks for being here guys, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out on similar videos in the future. But anyway, let's get stuck straight in. As always, we're starting off with the bare bones setup. As you can see, the bare-bone QBZ acted pretty poorly overall, with quite significant horizontal and vertical recoil control. As is tradition, there was some improvements in vertical control with crouching and proning positions, but you can see that even in the prone position, horizontal control was not great. The other thing that stood out to me was that the early magazine spread was really poor, and only took about 5 rounds before the bullet started to deviate in a horizontal direction. Throwing an angled grip on the QBZ showed impressive improvements in horizontal control, and this was evident for all the positions that were tested. As you can see however, vertical control was pretty much identical to that of the barebone setup. You can also see here that the early magazine control is very impressive. As expected, the vertical grip showed significant improvements in vertical recoil control, and horizontal control was quite good in crouching and proning positions. Again, there was quite impressive early magazine spread, which wavered slightly towards the end of the magazine. Adding a thumb grip to the QBZ showed slightly improved vertical control compared to the bare setup. There was however quite poor horizontal recoil control across the board, with standard improvements in crouching and proning positions for vertical recoil control. The light grip proved to have no vertical recoil improvements compared with that of the bare setup. It did however show moderately improved horizontal spread across the board. grip was quite good and showed significant improvements in vertical control. As you can see here, there was also a very impressive early magazine spread across all positions. It was interesting to see that a compensator with an angled grip behaved very similarly to that of the QBZ with just a vertical grip, as horizontal recoil control was quite similar between both setups. The QBZ with a compensator and vertical grip showed quite significant improvements in vertical control, and there was also very good early magazine spread that tended to waver towards the end of the magazine. As you can see, the recoil pattern in the prone position is pretty much flawless and offers superior improvements in vertical and horizontal recoil control. In comparing these setups, the vertical grip showed less predictability between rounds compared to that of the angled grip. This is shown here with sharper changes in directions between each bullet. It also seemed evident that the vertical and half grip applied very similar improvements in vertical control to that of the compensator. You can see generally that there's about a 25-point improvement in vertical control when either of these two attachments are added to the situation. When taking into account recoil control on its own and disregarding other factors such as aim down sight speed, it really seems to me that the angled grip becomes quite redundant, as there is really minimal improvements in horizontal control compared to that of the other setups, whilst also showing almost identical vertical control to that of a bare QBZ setup. For this reason, it seems that the vertical and half grip are the best attachments for the QBZ to most easily control recoil. Also, overall, it seems that the QBZ is quite a good weapon in regards to recoil control, but it definitely seems that the bare-bones setup is very unpredictable, and the QBZ relies more heavily on having attachments to be a controllable weapon. As I mentioned earlier, in my next video I'll be comparing the QBZ to the M416, because personally I really want to know which of these weapons I should be picking up when playing Sanhok. So that about does it for this video, guys. I am interested to hear what you guys think of the QBZ, so let me know in the comments below if you've been enjoying using the QBZ and what attachments you feel have been working the best for you. But anyway guys, thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video when we look at the QBZ compared to the M416.